Welcome to Friday, the 21st day of June, 2024. This Day Weather Podcast is being brought to you by Wyoming State Parks. Why wonder about the outdoors in Wyoming? Explore the statewide interactive outdoor recreation wonder map to find your next adventure. Well, adventure might be a good way to describe those thunderstorms that popped up yesterday afternoon and evening over portions of Wyoming and western Nebraska. Colorado seeing some strong thunderstorms as well, but it was the eastern plains of Wyoming and the panhandle of Nebraska that just got walloped. Now, by the evening, we did see the moon come out for a great shot of the full moon there yesterday, but we're going to have another round of thunderstorms today. As we mentioned yesterday, it's a pattern for 2 days that was basically going to stay the same in place. So I'm afraid to say we've got severe weather on tap again today, and the coverage, the geographic expanse of where severe weather could be today is going to be much larger. It's going to go further north into Wyoming. It's going to go into Montana. And unfortunately, some of the areas that experienced the severe weather yesterday will see it again today. Now, the air becomes drier. It's going to warm up. We're not going to eliminate thunderstorms from the forecast, but there'll be much less of them, and there won't be nearly as much severe weather. And that'll be probably from Saturday through probably Monday and into Tuesday. But we see the door opening, as we explained yesterday, to subtropical moisture by the middle of next week. That's going to help draw moisture back northward. And some of that moisture that's around the middle of next week will be some of that Gulf of Mexico moisture, higher humidity air coming on through. So this is what some folks had to deal with yesterday. Storm chaser Dan Fitz. Yeah, that's softball size hail, folks. That's 4-inch diameter hailstone right there that fell with the same thunderstorm that ended up producing the tornado activity, and then the cluster of thunderstorms that kind of merged into one supercell that just walloped the Scottsbluff, Gering areas and just went right down the Platte River Valley. This is what it looked like with the hail and the heavy winds in Scottsbluff yesterday. No, that's not a blizzard. That was the topic of the email that was sent to me in this video. Thanks, Stephen, for sending this in. But that's not a blizzard. That's 70 to 100 mile per hour wind gust, hail and heavy rain that went through Scottsbluff, Gering yesterday. And this is from the golf course, country club there in Scottsbluff. Estimated over 750 trees in the Scottsbluff, Gering area blown down. Needed rain, desperately needed rain. Got the rain, but didn't want to have all of this come with it. Yesterday's one of those days that if you didn't get the rain you wanted, and that was a lot of you, maybe it was good that these storms went around you because the rain came with a lot of extras. And there's a nice shot from Wyatt there near Hawk Springs of the tornado that came down in Goshen County yesterday. Some great video on social media of that tornado as it was captured by a lot of storm chasers. Just a great panoramic there of the thunderstorms that built in southeastern Wyoming yesterday, bringing some areas some good rain, some areas just enough to settle the dust, and great mammatus underneath the anvil of that thunderstorm as it rolled on through. Here's the storm reports from yesterday. You see a lot of wind with some thunderstorms up here in the Great Lakes in the Northeast, but this is the path of where that severe weather went. Yesterday, the Storm Prediction Center did an amazing job at pinpointing where the severe weather ended up being yesterday. And if we were to overlay that on Google Earth, H, hail, W, wind, T, tornado, you can see that there was a concentration right here of where the thunderstorms were the most severe. Notice how it went right along the edge, then right down the North Platte River Valley. You'll see that. You'll see the thunderstorms get along and attach themselves to terrain sometimes. And this happened almost a year to the date, a year ago, that the Scottsbluff area, this area, was hit with some very heavy hail with some severe weather. As we go and look at the weather pattern today, as we showed you yesterday, that arc of moisture goes just like this around the Ring of Fire. That's what it's going to be today. You can see Alberto's remains going right across Mexico. It's amazing. It's gone all the way across the Gulf. It's going all the way across Mexico, and now it's going to start to curve up. So you folks in Arizona, New Mexico, the Four Corners area, you're going to have a very active several-day period of heavy rain-producing showers and thunderstorms. This map for today looks very similar to yesterday. You can see the clockwise rotation around the high is just going to draw up the moisture. And we've got a good gradient here. Stronger winds aloft, colder air aloft here, the moisture and heat here. It's just, I'm afraid to say, the perfect setup for severe weather again. So there's the deep moisture ringing around the high. So here we go again. This is where the thunderstorms are going to be by afternoon. Getting west of the divide into the west slope of Colorado. Then you can see how much further north the thunderstorms are going to go into Montana. Then the thunderstorms will continue in an arc like this across the upper plains and the Midwest. Severe weather is likely. Look how large that yellow area is from the front range of Montana and then into areas across most of the eastern plains of Wyoming, across Nebraska again, into the upper Midwest and extreme northeast Colorado. Some slight risk in the Four Corners area. A lot of geographic area today could run the risk of severe weather, so be prepared for it. There will likely be severe thunderstorm watches issued later today. This is the tornado risk today. This is the hail risk, the crosshatch areas in Montana here. When you have a crosshatching in the hail prediction, watch out. Your risk is very high, but risk all the way through this brown and yellow area is high for hail occurrence again today. By Saturday, notice the flow is flattening out. This is where the door closes. So the moisture gets shunted more south and gets more concentrated here. So that's where the thunderstorms are going to be most active this weekend. Right on the edges, though, of this, you're still going to get some shower and thunderstorm activity where there's going to be enough moisture and daytime heating, mixing it up with the terrain. But basically, the door to the deeper moisture closes Saturday, Sunday, into Monday for the northern and central Rockies, gets more concentrated to the south. There you can see the precipitable water. The deeper axis is here. Notice, though, there's some light green here and some light green up here. So you're still going to have some thunderstorms, but the deeper, more rain-producing thunderstorms will be down there. And this is the thunderstorm forecast you can see by Sunday. Much less and more concentrated to the south, but some northern areas as well. Then here's the door opening. By Wednesday, the high is not in the east anymore. It's more towards the Four Corners area. But the way the circulation will be around that high, the deeper moisture comes back. There it is, very deep moisture. So this is going to be what we will tend to see as we get into mid to late July at times, what we call the North American monsoon. This necessarily isn't the establishment of it completely yet. We're getting some help from the Gulf of Mexico moisture here, but this is kind of what the pattern can get like, especially mid-July into mid-August. So we'll see if this becomes more productive for rain in many areas, both sides of the divide. Notice the dry air coming into the Great Lakes. This is because of a strong cold front as the high comes this way. So all the heat you've been hearing about in the east, and you will this weekend, because the Northeast and the East Coast, the D.C., New York, Boston areas are going to have very, very hot temperatures. But look at this. By mid to late next week, they're going to cool off considerably and see temperatures, well, that are going to be 5 to 15 degrees below average, while here in the West, we get the heat. Have yourself a good weekend. We'll see you on Monday.